So here we are at the beautiful Sandringham site, and I'm going to show you around the van. So first thing is we have a fold out step, and we're fortunate to have the very rare one piece lift up rear tailgate. So inside, here we go. Right, so this is all fairly standard Master. We've got the model without the tachograph. This I've rearranged things here. This is a little temperature gauge, outside temperature gauge, and that's a electric pump that you can press in if you need to prime the diesel system from the dashboard. That allows you to get to the dipstick, and that allows you to top up the oil, because it's a right pain having to remove the cover. We've got a really nice Blaupunkt system, which is nice and period looking, that has Bluetooth and all the rest of it, and plugs into our Blu-ray player that we have in the back, and the TV, etc. And then underneath is our air conditioning unit, and these are the controls for the air conditioning and the heating and what have you, and that works in addition to the heating there. These additional vents in the dash are from an MGB, believe it or not, but actually look just right. And then the other thing that's very cool is we had to have some cup holders, so there's a couple of cup holders there, and later on I'll show you how the blind works. But basically this is a sprung blind, just sits on the front there, and then we've got a phone holder, etc. There we go. Here's one of the chairs turned round with the captain of the chair in the chairs, Mr. Reg, looking pleased as punch. We've just had supper. And then just a quick note on the blackout blind. So obviously we've got that blind that pulls up at the front, and that just clips onto the sun visor clips, and then the sun visors move to the side, and then we slide these black covers, these ones here, over the sun visors. They clip in their position up here, and then we've just got a popper there, and at the leading edge, which you can't see but down there, that holds it all in place, and that's just made of an elasticated campervan curtain material. Then we've got nice campervan blackout curtains all round, which looks lovely. And then we've got our nighttime blinds over the skylights, like so. Coming in, we've got our seating area here. This is the area that converts into the bed, and these pull-out lockers have the bedding in and all that kind of thing, so you can see that there. And then beyond that is a tool tray that pulls out. Underneath here is all the electric master unit. The diesel heater lives under here as well, and that draws in through a vent down here. I'll just poke down so you can't quite see it from here, and then vents out from underneath the drawers there. Okay, so we've been watching movies tonight. Just gonna put the old tech away. Right, here we go. This is how the bed works. Okay. So that's the next stage. And there we have one bed, ready for sleeping. Our switch panel here, Blu-ray player, high definition TV, and then switches for the various lighting and bits and pieces. So again, I'll show you the lighting later. Another nice little overhead locker. Overhead lockers here, which just keep all sorts of bits and pieces in, which is handy. Overhead lights, and then these shelves here. This is really good because you can get like a full-size Atlas down the back here. That uses the space that's in that panel that mirrors the sliding door on the other side. Controls here for water, so we know how much water there is. That's the diesel heater. That's the solar control, electric water heater, gas water heater there. And then coming in, so we've got our bathroom. That's on a tamper door. You got there, mains water pressure shower, extractor fan there, and a washing line that pulls out and that folds away too. And then this is our sink, so that pulls down, and that's just like, we made that out of there we go, we made that out of just a push fold up washing up bowl. And then this is a little tap that folds down like so to fill it up, which is again very cool. And that just pushes, and I looked at loads of fold down basins, and in the end they all take up loads of room, and that's just a really simple solution. That for toilet, shower tray, and really good shower, so you can have an excellent shower in here. And then moving through, then we've got tool cupboards here. You can see there, loads of room. So if you look down the cupboards, you've got a tool cupboard. Cupboard under the fridge there, we use for clothes and that kind of thing. And then the fridge itself is a full-length Electrolux fridge, three-way fridge. Lots of lovely stuff in there. Guinness for tonight, very important. More overhead lockers for food and things on both sides there. And then we have our really lovely vintage sink and gas cooker. The controls for the gas cooker and the grill are under here. And then that cupboard, loads of kitchen stuff in there. And then one other socket down here. Behind here is our 70-litre water tank, and then we've got a little cutlery drawer that pulls out there, like so. And this folds out when you've got your door open, but also, there we go, folds back and folds out the way there, and you've got the door closed. And then also, obviously, when everything's away, folds down and covers up the sink, and that's the fold down thing for the cooker there. Outside lights, as you can see there, so this becomes like an awning, which is great. And then this, in this cupboard here, you've got your gas cylinders. This table folds up here to form a table, and then this chair also folds out here, so this comes across, and these extra cushions come across so that we can both sit across here at night, which is great. So we've got our, as I say, 70-litre water tank in here, and then outside shower, water tank entrance point there. Sarah's tying the dog on, because Reg has seen squirrels. Haven't you, Reg? You've seen squirrels? And it's not fair because I'm winding him up now. And then coming round, obviously that's the outlet for the toilet there. And then up on high, we've got 4 solar panels, 120 watts each, and then the roof rack with the spare wheel on it. And then we have a little crane that erects to lower the spare wheel down. And we keep things like chocks up there and chairs and all that kind of thing. Other things on the outside of the van is, this is the output for the trauma heater. That cover removes when it's gas. And then we've got the electric there and an inverter inside there. The other thing that's worth pointing out are these fantastic General Grabber tyres, which have done really, really well. They're really cool. Loads of grip if you're needing to go off-road, or the conditions are muddy, and not too much road noise when you're driving along. So that's the van, and that's pretty much everything, I think. It's been a great friend over a summer of touring Europe, and as I say, we're just in Sandringham now, enjoying a last bit of autumn sunshine.